If you're trying to balance, you will never be able to do it. So you stop trying, you let go, you allow, and the balance happens with relaxation, not only in the body, but relaxation in mind and relaxation in my emotions. When that happens, people start to actually find balance. It's like a byproduct of the intent to let go and release and not try. More they try to get balance, more they fall.
Balance is love. It's all. It is what we are. Because if we weren't, then we wouldn't be able to find it within ourselves. If we weren't balance itself, if we weren't naturally built, created, designed to balance, then nobody could instruct us to find balance by standing on one foot or not, or what. We
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to accomplish it.
In every part of our life, there is stillness in dynamic movement, and then there is dynamic movement in stillness. And they can coexist, although they seem like, opposites, which is, again, everything exists in that whole circle that is the yin and yang circle. That's the wholeness, which is where the life unravels. And so,
Mm-hmm.
in real life scenarios, how does that work?
Find that place of stillness and surrender it all just for a moment. There's a lot of folks that don't even, they've not even met balance yet.
Yeah,
They don't even know it's there. They want to believe that it's there.
yeah.
They want this, what we talk about.
Mm-hmm.
People will say to me, I just, yeah, you like, I want that, what you talk
Mm-hmm.
about. And just telling them that it's within them is enough to make them want to jump off the next, cliff.
Hello, beautiful souls and curious minds. Welcome back to another Awake and Aware podcast session. Today, Tammy and I are going to talk about balance, the secrets of the balance, and then importance of understanding where it comes from, how do we have it in life of either finances or health or relationships or career or physical movement balance as well. For those of you who are just discovering this channel, we are using quite a bit of a Peter Crone's wisdom. If you guys haven't seen him in action, I highly recommend his teachings, and it really has been so much inspiration for myself as well as Tammy, as well as a few of our close friends. And it's always so much fun to dive into any of his quotes that he's generated through his own research. Without any further ado, let's get started, and help me again, please welcome Tammy to this next session. Welcome back to another Awake and Aware podcast session. Today, back with me is Tammy again. Thank you for being here, Tammy.
Thank
It's
you.
always good to see you.
Mm.
And I wanted to unravel a little bit the theme of balancing in life, be it balancing physically, being balancing your life in the sense of your health, your money, your career or relationships, whatever it is. But what is balance really about? To me, balance was one of those things from a very get-go in this lifetime as I was in this physicality that I'm today. One of the necklaces that I don't really stop wearing ever is the yin and yang. And that's just one of those things that just keeps reminding me that yes, this world is limiting in some sense because there is positive, negative, there's the day and the night. It's a balance, it's a duality.
Mm.
But that circle around those two halves, that each one of the halves has a piece of the other inside, that circle part of the whole thing is the wholeness in which we actually exist. And to me, to find balance means to be whole, because without being whole, the balance cannot be to me. And so, if I'm taking this in the realm of working with people in my vocation or my really my joyous work,
Mm-hmm.
is we oftentimes play with physical balance because that's one of the things that Tai Chi provides. I teach Tai Chi for those of you out there that didn't know that yet. We will practice basically a movement, and I will go into a place where can I balance on one leg? And so, yeah, some people are falling over. And then, so here I say, okay, so if you're trying to balance, you will never be able to do it. If you let go and allow yourself to feel where the body is, start from just touching lightly with the other foot, and then gradually lift that foot off the ground, but feel the other foot that's supporting you as you're balancing on that foot, and then loosen the joints in the leg that you're balancing on, like this is easy. That sensation of create a sensation within your body that this is easy. So you stop trying, you let go, you allow, and the balance happens. It's not something to force and try to get to and to chase and all that kind of stuff. To me, that's straightforward. To most people, that isn't. But
Hmm.
hence why I teach them. And then, of course, if they take this balancing from the reality, from the how we stand, how we move, how we live, the balance really is like how we are in between. And if you're taking it from ride or learning to ride bicycle,
Hmm.
if you're standing, if you're not moving on the bicycle, you will fall. Assuming you're learning how to ride it. If you already know how to do it, you might find balance and you might be able to stand on the bike while you're steady. Okay, yeah, that's a more advanced level here. So,
Yeah.
but in that sense, like in order for you find to find that balance actually is in that movement of the bicycle. And one of the other things that I do with people in the Tai Chi practice is that we are first also looking for balance in the movement. How do I transition my body weight from one foot to the other with relaxation, not only in the body, but relaxation in mind and relaxation in my emotions. So when that happens, people start to actually find balance. It's like a byproduct of the intent to let go and release and not try. More they try to get balance, more they fall. And that's, I think, pretty much conclusion probably in all areas of life, if we were probably summarize that and going into finances and relationships and health and whatever else, I think we can find correlations in that as well. So I would like to forward the talking stick to Tammy and just see what's coming to your mind about that.
I mean, I think balance is up there with the most important aspect of somebody says what to do, like on the way to finding peace or finding, right? Coming
Mhm.
into peace, coming into contentment. The balance is where that's realized. I love the way that you emphasize the trying,
Mhm.
because trying creates tension. Whether we're trying to whatever you're trying to do, trying creates tension. Allowing creates the openness for what we want to happen.
Mhm.
So it's the that surrender. It's like the more that we try, that's resistance, that's fighting something. If we're in water and we want to float, we have to be still to float. So it's trusting that stillness. And when you come into the stillness, that it'll happen. You don't need to try. If you choose stillness and choose surrender,
Mhm.
then the trying, it just goes out. You don't have to do it because it, like you said, it just naturally happens. And then when you're in that balance and in that stillness, then the pathways are revealed. We can see, our vision is more, not necessarily clear, but certainly available to us. But if we're thrashing, trying, or just hoping to be balanced, or hoping somebody comes along that does something that then we can feel balanced, we can only get it. It can only be sourced by us, this balance. Nobody can balance you. We can be around people that make us feel grounded,
Mhm.
right? Choosing who we're around is so important, and we can feel grounded and or feel a steadiness. But balance is an inside job. It can't be given to us by anyone. It can't be
Yeah.
disrupted by anyone either, unless we choose to join in, that
Exactly.
external whatever.
Exactly. Beautifully said. Thank you for all the
Hmm.
little nuggets there, because
Hmm.
it is a source from inside, as I said, like the perception of a balance comes from the understanding of the wholeness that we already are. When we are in that space of feeling whole, complete, that I'm not trying to chase anything or anyone, I am at the place where I am expressing myself. I'm at the place where I am, you know, being creative or whatever the emotions are felt during that kind of a state of being. And because of that, we all have capacity to perceive both sides of the same coin, both,
Hmm. Hmm.
all the time. So sometimes we are down and sometimes we are up, and that's appropriate. The problem happens, Liz, as you pointed out already, is when we resist where we are. And that act of resistance is what actually unbalances you. And I love how you said simple, right? That you just said exactly that same things with different words. And it's just like, yes, that's
Yeah.
exactly right.
Hmm.
That's there is no where the balance isn't. It's always present. Just like, when we talk about the source, the love, the essence of life, whatever we talk about, the wholeness,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Because that's essentially to me where the duality is created from. Again, is
Hmm.
the world that we live in is dual world because the consciousness, the God, the creator, whatever we want to call it, source,
Hmm.
is trying to just experience itself. And maybe I should replace the word trying to. It's just wanting to, desiring to experience itself. So it needs a mirror, it needs a reflection. And in order to do that, also, I feel like it splits itself into several different units so it can experience itself from different angles and create different stories, which is what we are here to, I
Right.
feel, do in this lifetime anyway.
Yeah. If we wanted to refer to balance and sort of give it an essence or a name, balance is love.
Hmm.
As you're saying, it's all. It is what we are. Cuz if we weren't, then we wouldn't be able to find it within ourselves. If we weren't balance itself, if we weren't naturally built, created, designed to balance, then nobody could instruct us to find balance by standing on one foot or not, or what. We wouldn't be able to accomplish it, and we would need to receive it externally. It feels helpful to me to know that I am it, because
Hmm.
you can't really argue that you can't access it. You can't really argue for that limitation anymore, because it just
Yeah.
is. I mean, the feeling of balance to me, it feels the like what love feels like. Love feels safe, it feels steady, it feels secure, it feels whole, it feels real. It feels like nothing can change it or
Mhm.
touch it. If I feel balanced, the crisis or the trial that comes out from left field and it blindsides and I didn't see it come in and I didn't know, and it's like, yeah, I'm still gonna like take a step back and have a human pause, like, oh no, like, whoa, this is big. But if I'm balanced, it's not gonna up to crisis level. It's the barometer isn't going to go up that high. It's
Mhm.
okay, I got to deal with something, I might have to stop, I might have to rearrange things or whatever. There
Mhm.
things might have to be done
Mhm.
that interrupt my day or my week, my month, whatever.
Mhm.
But if I'm balanced, it takes out the crisis level of things, which is, why it's important that we talk about it. It's important that people know that they can have it, and you don't have to reach a status before you have it. Like, oh well, we
Oh,
look at
absolutely.
other people and, well, they have good jobs and they're a millionaire, so it's easy for them to be balanced, or
Hmm.
it's easy for somebody else because they have da 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 da. No,
Hmm.
it's
Yeah.
just as easy for all of us.
Yeah, and I feel it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy if obviously we start saying things like what you just said, that, if it look at those people and they have that and I don't have that. So yeah, I mean that
Mm-hmm.
becomes what the words we use to describe our world in the sense that it exists right now, there's basically two places to look from. And one is that I'm a victim to life, and the other one that I'm the creator. And so we all go through every day. And again, this is a balance of things. Nobody is just full-time creator, and nobody is just full-time victim. We're
Mm-hmm.
balancing those two out as kind of as we go. And in that movement is where the life happens, and this is where the lessons are obviously being learned and,
Yeah.
experiences are being experienced.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel that there's importance that was gonna steer this a little bit towards whether it's physical, whether it's mental, whether it's emotional, health-wise, relationships-wise, whichever way. I presume that we people, and those of you out there who are listening also have experience of unbalance or disbalance in your life, be it physically, maybe you're a little bit more frail in some sense, and or not strong enough or something, or you have some physical impairments perhaps, and you experiencing lack of balance, and that's also very valid. It's real, but it's not necessarily true from perspective of the balance exists the way just everywhere around in everything all the time, just like the essence of all of this life is existing all the time. Now what point of view you're looking from is what's going to create your reality. And so as I'm looking from perspective of, yes, I don't have good physical balance, then that reality is going to perpetuate. I'm not saying that you should start saying to yourself, I have amazing balance, which is going to be rejected by your mind, saying that's not true, which it isn't at the moment, because the perspective you're looking through is that reality you have created, which is based again in your past actions. But have you, for instance, if we stay with the physical for a little bit, have you, in that sense, then spent most of your life working with your physical body, training it, paying attention to what feels like what? How much do you move during the day? Do you have a sedentary life? Do you like to lay a lot? Do you kind of feel lazy and then you feel like you don't have balance? Maybe you're walking around, moving around a lot and you have no balance. Maybe it's the opposite. So where is that? Because if you're not moving enough, you're going to perceive lack of balance because there is a lack of movement. If you're moving too much, you're going to perceive lack of balance because you're too anxious to keep moving, right? So again, if I want to speak to balance, it's that scale stepping back into place, right? So, and then one of the reasons I also picked this theme for today is this we're in a constellation of Libra, I believe, and so it's all about the scales. So as we're tipping back and forth through our daily experiences in life. And
Mm-hmm.
so, whether it's like I just said, physical or non-physical, there is something constricting in your mental body. Those of you who've watched enough of our talks, I'm not pointing just to my head as a mind, but I'm pointing to the mental body, to the perception of my life, perception of the life,
Mm-hmm.
not what's really actually happening, how I see the life to be through what I have experienced, through the lens that I have created in this being, in this avatar, in this meat suit, in this body. So, in that sense, like what is in the way of me not having balance in life? Financial, health, physical.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to bring up awareness, and you led perfectly and beautifully into that, because when we become aware, first of all, that I'm feeling unbalanced, and we become aware that we feel unbalanced,
Mhm.
the process journey of finding balance is the gift. I would encourage anybody that's listening to this, the patience and just loving patience and compassion for yourself, to pause in that moment of feeling unbalanced. Pause for a moment and say, okay, rather than panic at being unbalanced, because then we're going to pick up the trying and the
Mhm.
reaching and the seeking.
Mhm.
So, right in that moment of feeling unbalanced, even before going to the like naming, okay, well, it's this, it's finances, and it's my job, and then it's this. And before we, bring out the list of all the things that are wrong that make us feel unbalanced, if we say, okay, it's not bad, wrong, there's no problem with me being unbalanced.
Mhm.
This is here for me, because in my finding balance, that's where the gift is, because that awareness. And so you're aware, okay, of all the things. So you have the list now, and you start to go into that more and realize what parts are out of balance, to your point. If we're in the mindset of balance while we're looking at them, they come into the flow. They're not blocks. It's actually the thing that pushes you back over. Like,
Yeah. Like the bumpers in
if
the
you're
bowling alley.
yeah, like if you're trusting,
Yeah.
if you pause and you say, okay, it's not bad, it's not wrong, so there's no fear over the
Hmm.
fact that you feel unbalanced, then you can surrender into it and say, oh, all right. And you can allow life to move you. So
Yes.
maybe the part of, finances, that's usually the biggest one that can throw any of us out quick, right? I mean, money, life, right? We support ourselves, we need to eat, we need money. And so we need that push, because that push of that imbalance, that might move us into the balance that something else was pushing us out of. And it
Mhm.
might push that out of the way. It's the process that brings you into it. So nothing is wrong. But when we look at it from, I'm going to just be aware, and I'm going to trust this and believe and have faith and da da da, all that. Surrender into it, knowing that there's the cushion of the love that we are is always there. So if we are so unbalanced, and maybe we do fall, okay, all right, maybe we fall down. Well, maybe we'll learn to get back up,
Right.
and maybe when we fall down, that's another view too. So maybe while we're down there, like, maybe you lost something and dropped something once, and you knew you dropped it, and then you looked, but you couldn't find it.
Hmm.
And whatever it is, it rolled under the couch.
Hmm.
Well, maybe you fall down because you fell over because you're not dizzy. And maybe when you fall down, you see under the couch. So you see the thing that you lost 5 months ago. Like, you might find something another way. The imbalance will show you other things that you need to see.
Yes.
It's all here for us.
Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, imbalance. Exactly. It's like the balance, a lot of times we feel that I want to bring it to this static versus dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that we cannot have both again, because then that's a balance. If we have both, the static balance and dynamic balance, right? Like if you're riding a bike, you're gonna need dynamic balance, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're trying to stand on one leg, then it's going to be stillness more so, right? So you have the balance and
Mm-hmm.
stillness. So you kind of need both in order to experience the full array of what balance means. And so that in itself, of course, is what balance is about.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
one of the teachings again of in Tai Chi that a lot of the workshops that I would teach about Tai Chi is that all you need to know is that the sign of the yin and the yang, that really all life stems from that. If you understand what that symbol means in a sense, you don't need to know much more of anything
Mm-hmm.
else. Because there is a little bit of, as I was pointing, those little dots in each
Mm-hmm.
part, in each half. And those halves are basically like merging constantly one with the other. So that's the dynamic part of the yin and yang. There's a constant. If you spin that yin and yang symbol, it's just like
Mm-hmm.
constantly trying to reach one and the other side. It was officially, or originally, it was like two fish in opposition, basically, and then just like chasing each other's tails. And
Okay.
so the two fish, and that part with there is a little dot, white dot in the black, and there's a little black dot in the white,
Mm-hmm.
that just speaks to the idea again of the balance itself, in sense that yes, I can be angry, I can experience anger, and while I'm angry, I can detect the sadness within me that is basically just hidden joy, right? So in that sense, I am experiencing both at the same time, one primarily and then one secondary. because maybe you're being angry, maybe somebody listens to you, or maybe you just listen to yourself, which was great to, acknowledge your own emotions or whatnot. But maybe somebody's listening to you as you're being angry, and so now you started to feel this wave of, oh, I'm being witnessed. My process is being witnessed, and that feels good, right? And there's a
Right.
little dot in that big blackness or whiteness, whichever one,
Mm-hmm.
in a sense. And so, yes, we have in every part of our life that there is stillness in dynamic movement, and then there
Mm-hmm.
is dynamic movement in stillness. And they can coexist, although they seem like,
Mm-hmm.
opposites, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Which is, again, everything exists in that whole circle that is the yin and yang circle. That's the wholeness,
Mm-hmm.
which is where the life unravels. And so
Mm-hmm.
in real life scenarios, how does that work? It's like, what do we do? What do we not do? How do we perceive this? How do we make our life work? If you have some situation where you are having a meltdown or whatever, or argument with a spouse or colleague or friend or whatever, and yeah, you can, yell and have a yelling match. Absolutely, that's one option. You can also, if they're hot, then you cool them down, right? So it's the
Mm-hmm.
fire and the water, right? And if you are vice versa, if somebody's just being mellow all the time and there is no life, sometimes you may feel stuck, stagnant, like sometimes just too mellow all the time, kind of thing. So you need a little bit of fire to spice things up a little bit. So,
Mm-hmm.
is there something that comes to mind from these seeming opposites that might complement in life for you, Tammy? Mhm.
No.
No, I didn't think so, but I still asked. I was gonna be polite, so
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's more a matter of like choosing a direction, but I mean, we could say all the things that we all say all the time, like we couldn't see the stars if not for the darkness. We need
Mhm.
the contrast and the
Yeah,
duality and all of that.
yeah.
And I think for myself, uh as I grow, as I learn, everything um gets pointed at myself first because what I know now for absolute sure is whatever my base is going to dictate how everything else goes for me. Not I'm going to be this way and control how the world is. No, it's about me. And so dropping approval seeking, there's no trying to get the world to behave a certain way or trying to be a certain way. We've talked about that, the masks and trying to be something so that the world is a different way so that we feel balance. Again, it all comes back to self-awareness. And if I'm reactive or something sends me quickly into an emotion, whether it's anger, whatever it is, then I know that there's something unbalanced within me, or there's something unbalanced about a certain topic. And I mean, I'm very fortunate because if I'm sitting with someone, most likely they're either trying to figure something out, they're feeling stuck somewhere, or they're in trauma. So it offers me an opportunity to really like hone in on that because if I'm not balanced, well, number one, their upset is gonna upset me because I'm gonna feel it the same as them. So there's that detachment that can happen in the pause and step back. And so I feel like, I get like extra courses on it just by way of what I do, right?
Mhm.
But the contrast, man, like that's where all the wisdom is because the contrast shows us where we're at when it comes. So if we're not really sure we're going through life, well, then contrast comes along, or whether it's conflict or it's just contrast, just different, you're gonna find out real quick. Like if
Yeah.
like if we're unbalanced somewhere, we're gonna find out if we're like triggered by something, or
Yeah.
that word gets used so much, but just that overreactiveness. That's we want that. That's going to show us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love that you're bringing this back again to awareness and the showing, pointing the obviously contrasting. Yes, those are the two contrasts, the biggest contrasts we can have, the black and white, the day and night, and the polar opposites, the plus and minus, right? So yes, it may be easier said than lived, I would say, in this context where we're talking about, yeah, how it is that I can be balanced in life. Oh, it's easy for you to say, but you don't live my life, right? We have our fair share of things ourselves as well,
Mm-hmm.
that is
Sure.
difficult, and how I feel about family, how family feels about me, and the craziness that's happening in the world, and all sorts of things, right? There's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
things to be on feel like we don't have any control over, or we feel like are out of balance. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what can we do? What can we do? How can we be to practice this balance? I mean, obviously in my world, it's all about finding awareness within yourself, what you're feeling, what you're experiencing, and then practicing what it is that you wish to show. So, as we spoke before, frequency precedes form. So, if I want my life to change somehow, I need to be able to have a different state of mind, different state of being. So, my thoughts, my emotions, my actions need to align differently in order to create this so-called reality that I wish for. But again, if I'm trying to like force a little, square peg into round hole or something, that's gonna kind of backfire likely. So
Mm-hmm.
again, finding balance about like how far do I push? How much do I push?
Mm-hmm.
How much do I not push, right? And I love this exercise that I do with my students in Tai Chi class where two people connect with their forearms and hands,
Mm-hmm.
and then you feel each other's pushes and pulls. So one person
Mm-hmm.
may push, and the other person on the receiving end may end up feeling that push, let that happen, and then yield with a pull gently, and then release it. So ground that
Mm-hmm.
energy. So it's not pushing them back anymore, but it is also not pushing the other person also out of balance. So by grounding, by releasing, by allowing the force that they receive towards themselves and then just releasing it, they
Mm-hmm.
allow the connection stay
Mm-hmm.
balanced. And I love that exercise because it shows so much. And then you can do vice versa. You can do also pulling, right? And the other person perhaps. And then, in order to, I could just unbalance them and make them fall. Yes, if I'm pulling, right? And,
Yeah.
but again, the point is to learn that if something is pulling you or getting out of balance, all you do is release. And when I say release, literally, like physically, in this case scenario, your shoulders go,
Mm-hmm.
and then same parts, all the parts of your body do that.
Yeah.
And as your hips, your knees, your ankles all relax like that, your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists relax like that, your whole spine, while it stays upright, the muscles around the spine, the supporting mechanism, all those muscles soften. They just release. That act of the release, the allowing of gravity, the strongest force that we experience here on earth, allowing the force to ground this, to take this. And back, if we go to elements, I'm grounding it, I'm earthing it,
Mm-hmm.
right? If
Mm-hmm.
the most violent lightning strikes into the ground, the earth absorbs it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
because of the gravity, right? So in that
Mm-hmm.
sense, in our regular lives, then one of the ways to practice is to obviously do something like Tai Chi where the principles are practiced, right? And then taking those principles, as I encourage my students to do this all the time, is like when you step outside of this room, you know, when you sit in the car, how do you sit in the car? What's your structure of your body? What's your
Mm-hmm.
thoughts? Where are you? Are you already thinking like what you should be doing, or are you just driving? Can you just be there in the
Mm-hmm.
car, in that moment, driving, enjoying that drive, the space and quiet that you maybe have for yourself at that moment, right? Because once you
Mm-hmm.
get somewhere, home or friend's house or wherever you're going, right, you're gonna have more things happening, maybe exciting, maybe difficult, doesn't matter.
Sure.
But again, being in that present moment.
Yeah. To begin with, we should all take the time to actually, number one, know what we want. What does it feel like? If we don't know what balance feels like, the trying's going to have to come in. The
Hmm.
external's going to have to come in. Well,
Hmm.
show me. Because you can show someone a practice, you can physically
Hmm.
teach them a practice to do and
Hmm.
say, okay, well, this is balance.
Hmm.
Okay, yes, this is what it feels like to be physically balanced. This is what movement feels like. But then when we go into the state of beingness, balance, if we don't know what it feels like, and we're just like running around like Chicken Little saying, well, I just need to feel balanced. If I felt balanced, I would feel better. If only I could feel balanced, I would feel better. And we're looking around like, oh, if only, if only. What do I need to do? What do I need to do? And we
Hmm.
can spend thousands of dollars going to teachers and
Hmm.
doing things to find out.
And we do. We
Yeah.
spend thousands of dollars.
Meanwhile, meanwhile, it's right here.
Yeah.
It can be found.
Yeah.
And so it's finding that. What
Yeah.
does it actually feel like? I would encourage everyone to say, to find, take 5 minutes, 5 minutes,
Hmm.
preferably in the morning, as close to waking as possible, and find within yourself, within your own experience with yourself, with nothing else happening, quietness, find what balance feels like. And then keep expanding on that. Like, it's same for starting with meditation. I used to, years ago when I was still fitness training and running classes,
Hmm.
I was working with people with meditation. And for the people, I started this class. I called it sit still classes. I didn't call it, I because meditation, to those that were like, you say the word meditation and they're like, oh my god, now I can't. And like they're like, like
They run away.
spiraling at the mention of the word. So then I started this, just I'm like, okay, well, let's just sit and learn how to sit still. Let's just start there. Don't think about meditation. Don't meditate. Don't even act like it's any. Let's just sit still for a minute. And it's hard for, depending on the resistance we have built up.
Right.
And so if we can find that, find that balance, then we can, many people can't say what they want. They
Yeah.
couldn't describe it,
Yeah.
they couldn't, if I asked someone to say, well, what does it feel like to be balanced? What does your body feel like? What are you thinking of? And I'll ask these questions like, what do you feel like when, if you could tell me when you feel balanced?
Hmm.
I would say, well, what do you feel like when you feel it? How would you
Hmm.
describe it? And they're like, I get the list. Well, if this bill was paid and if my mortgage payment was less, and if I didn't have these many tasks at work, my
Hmm.
boss gave me all this extra work, and here we go. Now we're off
Hmm.
to the races, and I've
Hmm.
got, like, I got to cut them off because they're
Hmm.
on this dialogue of
Right.
everything that's happening that's making them out of balance.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's like, just find what it feels like in your being, to just
Hmm.
be still. And I would say surrender is
Hmm.
the pathway in. Like, surrender all the to-dos, surrender all the things, real or not, imagined or not, whether they're perceptions, whether they're real in front of you, doesn't matter. Whether you're looking at late notices sitting on your desk in envelopes, okay,
Hmm.
just find that place of stillness and surrender it all just for a moment. I believe that there's a lot of folks that don't even, they've not even met balance yet.
Yeah.
They don't even know it's there. They want to believe that it's there.
Yeah.
They want this, what we talk about.
Hmm.
People will say to me, I just, yeah, you like, I want that, what you talk
Hmm.
about.
Hmm.
um And just telling them that it's within them is enough to make them want to jump off the next, cliff. Because that's just, more frustrating when you feel so
Right,
far away from it.
right.
Um, but yeah, it's
Yeah, I mean, it's like the wanting is the reason that they don't have stuff. In a sense that,
good point.
right, is that
Yeah.
if you realize that you already are it and wanting it is futile, if you already are, as I was talking to, I think one of the other, I don't remember which one we talked about, but it was like if you are love, imagine just that you are the essence of this life, the love that there is for everybody, everything, everywhere, all the time. That
Hmm.
love that it's like all inclusive and just like blissful. You're that. Imagine then that's what you are. Okay, what do you want? Nothing, right? It's like I have everything. Well, you just told me I have everything. Yeah, so you don't want anything. Oh, okay. Yeah, so just again, I mean, the
Yeah.
wanting is really just a perception for all of us. And I'm not saying this because I have this down all the way. I mean, I understand and I'm practicing it daily, obviously, and
Yeah.
things pop up from different angles at me. It's just like, oh, look at that opportunity, you know,
Hmm.
that just like threw me completely off, right? And that's okay. Again, it's just like because I understand that that's the part of me that starts to get thrown off or feels like it's thrown off, that starts to react because it feels threatened somehow. That part of me is the personality, is the ego, is the mind's construct. And it's
Yeah.
okay if it goes through experience such as that
Hmm.
because it's going to learn something, right? Me as myself that is aware that I am the source. I don't feel threatened if I'm speaking from from that perspective. I don't feel threatened because
Hmm.
I'm already that. Like whatever difficulty is happening, I'm already that too. Whatever beauty is happening over there, I'm that as well. It's like I'm that wholeness of the yin and the yang, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm looking at life from that perspective, it's fairly straightforward. Now, again, being human and having human life, yes, we experience pain. Yes, we experience difficulties. Yes, we
Hmm.
experience atrocities, turmoils, trials. It's just all going to happen because that's what it means to be human. That's what it means.
Hmm.
I was just saying today in our other call that one of the things the question was posed that what is your biggest drawback in your life that you thought or your biggest fear or like where are you what are you feeling like do you mostly feel inadequate, do you mostly feel like you're scared, do you mostly feel unsafe?
Hmm.
And I was like yes, 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 and and then
Yeah.
something hit me is like, you know what I've always felt when I was a kid, when I remember since I remember myself, I felt like an alien in a different world, and then my alien family has forgotten me here somehow. And I'm looking around and I'm thinking, what is happening here? What is this world? And I'm sure nobody can relate to that. Being being in this beautiful world of human beings, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and
Yeah.
so I had to chuckle when I was coming to United States to become a citizen or just a permanent resident, and I got a stamp in the passport that says alien. I'm like, yes, finally somebody's seeing me. I'm an illegal alien now.
That is
Excellent,
fantastic. I
isn't
love
it?
that. I
Isn't
love
it?
that. Oh my
Uh,
gosh. Yeah.
life is difficult. Yes, life is fun. Yes, it's everything. Can you? His question is, can you embrace it all? Like we're saying,
Yeah.
not being reactive. Can you feel that creation happening all around you all the
Hmm.
time? Or as just feel it, not all the time
Yeah.
because that's impossible. We're humans, so
Yeah. And probably one of the biggest maybe hurdles or blocks or resistance points was, and I pose it out now to people is like, can you be completely in your own essence? of what, however, like of your perceptions looking out. Like, okay, I'm an alien. I see things differently. I see, and nobody else seems to.
Hmm.
Um, for me, there was such great freedom when I didn't need anybody else to see what I saw, to feel how I felt about it. I didn't need permission. Like when that left, I mean, the only word that I can think of is freedom. And that is, it's one of the biggest encouragements that I put out to people is that actually somebody asked me, I had gone to Abraham Hicks to that event. And then the following week I met one of the women that I met there, lives pretty local, and asked me to meet her for dinner. So we met for dinner, we're just chatting. And we were talking about this, and I was talking about like um just, I don't know, like I'll be out. I mean, my one friend told me, like, you got to stop, Tammy, because it's distracting driving. I'll be like, oh my God, like, look at that tree. It's in the shape of a heart, or that cloud, or whatever. Like, just, I'm always, it's just, and to me, I do that all day long. I do it if I'm by myself. A leaf on the ground, it just looks like, I don't, I just, you know, it's, I'm just like that. I'm just in my wonder, and I've always been like that. And I have been around people in the past in close relationships and friendships where it's like, it's a bother, it's a nuisance
It's a
that I
distraction.
do that. It's a
Hmm.
nuisance. And I can
Hmm.
understand, like, my one friend, like when we're driving, like, don't point things out like while somebody's driving. Like that's a, but I would get more like kind of more negative, that it was some, I was doing something that was negative, and it was just
Hmm.
like, what the,
Hmm.
it's foolish. You can't go through life like that. Like, we're adults, and you have to, like, look, I'm very adult. Like I take care of my business. I mean, I'm at like a high level of stress most days. I got really big stuff on my plate, and I'm an adult, and I'm making things happen, and I'm doing all of that. But why can't I marvel at a tree because it looks like it's in the shape of a heart? Like, what's the big deal? You know? Um, and,
Absolutely.
but the once upon a time, before I was free from it, before I knew that I was allowed to just do that, and there wasn't something wrong with me because I was doing it, um, that, we need approval, or like, we need to silence ourselves, or we can't be it. But if everyone could just a little bit more just be that, like, that's what we need. And
Hmm.
that, like, joy can be contrast to somebody who doesn't want to be in joy.
Hmm.
So it's not only negative that brings a contrast into things or imbalance. It can be the one that's all like, light and airy, and then their wonder comes in to the ones that kind of want to be more focused on misery. And that's, maybe that's how they get stuff done. Maybe they're not negative people, but maybe that's how they operate their life, and that's how they get success, is they're just dialed in and drilled in. That's okay. But sometimes it's negative contrast to them to have somebody who's more light, because that's a distraction. And so, like, contrast isn't always, doesn't mean that things are negative. Contrast can be joy to somebody who wants to be in the dark. If light comes in, they want to shut that down quick.
Oh yes. Oh
It's
yes.
blinding.
Oh yes. Exactly. That's what it is. It's blinding to someone else. Yes.
Yeah.
It's like if you have, when you're in pain, like especially like if you have a migraine headache, for instance, right?
Mhm.
You need darkness. If somebody starts shining a light in your eyes, you'd be like, "Oh my God, get away from me," right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's unbearable basically. But
Mhm.
that's again, obviously, it's important to be able to understand where the balance lies within your being, be it mental, be it emotional, be it physical, and all layers, right?
Right.
And I love that you pointed out the freedom piece because synonymous word with balance is freedom, if you think of it. Because being able to be in balance in again physically, mental, emotionally
Mhm.
feels free, feels freeing, feels
Yeah.
flowing, right? And so we really are in search for such state of being. And why
Mhm.
are we in search for such state of being? Because something within us tells us that we don't have it, which of course is
Mhm.
not true, but we behave as though it is. And this is where most of the people's problems rephrase. This is where all people's problems lie.
Mhm. Yeah.
Not most, all. So any problems that there are is just our resistance to something that is, right? If we
Mhm.
can be okay with what is, not I'm not saying that it's gonna be the favorite pl way that the life is transpiring, but it's gonna be the difficult whatever it is.
Mhm.
But can I be with that situation the way it is for this moment? So if I have the ability to basically be connected with that part, that
Yeah.
with the understanding of that I am okay wherever I am, then I have freedom. Then I have balance. It ends up being a byproduct of changing the state of being or state of mind because it again it depends on like where you're looking from
Right.
is what you see.
Yes. I love that you brought it all there because, so for me personally, as I've said, balance is, I put that right in with love. So when I know that I am love, that I am completely full, whole, complete
Hmm.
as love
Hmm.
myself, I have it to give. I don't need it from
Hmm.
any other sources. So I'm never broken, upset, worse off if I don't get it somewhere. It might hurt if I don't get it from a loved one. Yeah, I'm not discounting that, that it
Hmm.
doesn't cause pain or hurt or
Hmm.
okay. But the baseline need isn't there. If we are in that state of balance, we've found it, we know what it is, and we can then maintain it and decide we want to move forward in life with the balance, then the same as with love, that balance to the contrast, when we're balanced, we're steadfast. We're not trying, we're not flailing around, we're not unbalanced. We are steady, we are sure, we are dependable, we are reliable, we are steady enough for other people, situations that are in contrast, whether it's of our own or someone else. They can join us. I like the image of a paddleboard. Okay, so you're on a paddleboard, you're on it, you're steady. If you're on it, steady and balanced, and you reach down and your dog's with you, your dog can come up and get on it with you. Another person can come up and get on. But if you're not yet steady and then something tries to join you, we're in a different scenario and everybody's going in the water. It's just the way it's going to be. It serves the world by being balanced, the same as it serves the world by us finding this love within ourselves and being love. We serve the world. We serve the world first by doing that before anything that we do with our business, with our, whether it's our coaching, our teaching, whatever, our service, before any of that, we're serving the world if we are balanced and we are love. Because now that which is unsteady can witness our balance. People that don't know yet, that haven't remembered yet that they are love.
Yeah.
They can, it helps them remember what they are if they see what we are,
Yeah.
our example. So it's not just for us. It serves the world. It, whatever we are is going to bring the world into more of that. Again, finding what it is and what it feels like for us. We can't maintain something until we know what it is. So, you find it first and take the time to find it. There's no rush.
Yeah.
There's no rush. Like, take the time that you need, and everybody's way is different. And I would encourage everyone like to find what works. It might be meditation, it might
Mhm.
be a practice, it might be sitting still in the yard in the grass,
Mhm.
whatever it is. Like, it's
Mhm.
it's worth your valuable time to do it. I
Mhm.
would say that to anyone.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. It's like the most that I have learned about myself was in times when I was actually sitting with myself, sitting still, either journaling and really writing the prompts for myself. Okay, where do I remember this behavior for the first time? Let's say something upset me or frustrated me or whatever. It's like, where have I felt frustration for the first time? And I sit with that question until something happens, something changes. And sometimes I'm not getting anything for quite a while. And I'm saying, let's say 50, 10, 15, 30 minutes or something.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I will, okay, I need to refine this question. I need to maybe change this question slightly. And so I will sit with the next one. If I'm not sure what question to ask, I mean, A, you can just always give it a break for a moment and see if something comes to you while you're in movement versus in stillness while you're moving around and maybe, I don't know, cooking or going to for a walk or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you can also, call a friend or something, and then they will say something. You'll be like, "Oh, that's a great question to ask," you know. And so you never know what's going to happen, and that's the beauty of life, right? I think
Mm-hmm.
it's in that pot of unknown, right? And
Yeah.
when I talk to the pot of unknown, I want to touch on
Yeah.
the part where it's like, where are the thoughts coming from? Where is all the potential that exists out there? What does that look like? What does that feel like?
Mm-hmm.
When people say sometimes to you, "Oh my gosh, I see so much potential in you," what does that mean? I mean, we get what it implies, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you ever been told something like that, I see so much potential, you might all of a sudden become self-conscious and you may close off. And so basically then the question would be in such case scenario, why did I close off? What caused me? Where was the fear coming from, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so the process of that you're talking to, I feel, is the process of self-discovery comes from that stillness, from that allowing yourself really to be with what you're feeling, with what you're experiencing, and just be with it for a bit. In that quiet, all sorts of answers show up that you may not even had a questions for.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's the beauty
Totally.
of life, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yes, I am a huge, huge fan of, I mean, free writing. And of course, I mean, I'm a writer, so I'm
Mhm,
understand that it's a, bigger go-to for me maybe than some. But I do the Artist Way morning pages. I mean, I don't at this point I don't even know how many years I've been doing them, but she's very specific about it. It's 3 pages written, just free write, 3 pages every single morning, front and back.
mhm, mhm,
And it's free write is just it's just writing. And it I mean, I've been doing it for years and I'm a writer, but like you're just writing. Whatever comes. Might
yeah.
be like, "Oh, did I turn the coffee pot off?" Or, "Oh, I need to wash dishes," or like anything that comes.
Uh-huh,
But after you do that for a couple of minutes,
uh-huh,
stuff starts coming out that
uh-huh,
you go back and look at it. I say this to everyone. And it happens for me, but anybody I've spoken to about it
mhm,
says the same thing.
mhm.
It's like I'll look back and think, "Wait, did I write that?" And I know I did. I'm sitting there looking at the page. I just wrote it.
Right. But it wasn't you writing it.
Exactly. And so it's coming from those that
Yeah.
deeper, and it's a chance where all the parts of self can come out and play
Yes.
because there's no restrictions. And
Yes.
this is, I mean, this feeds into awareness, which this leads to balance. It
Yeah.
ties in
Yes.
because
100%.
it's, I mean, without going deep into like IFS and internal family system, it's brilliant because it's all the parts get to have a voice
Mm-hmm.
and you go meet every part.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like complicated and it sounds like a lot, but it really isn't. And so I encourage like to just it's time. It's like, okay, I'm taking this time in these pages. I'm just going to let every part speak and say what they want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Punctuation doesn't matter. Nobody else is
Right.
ever going to read it. Full sentences don't matter. Like it doesn't matter if it makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
And when you like to go back and look, it's amazing what comes out.
Yeah,
Amazing.
it's because that's actually channeling. So this is like what happens. I believe in what you're expressing in here in the free writing
Yeah.
is literally the channeling that happens for any one of us. You know, some of us are more comfortable writing it, some of us are more comfortable speaking it,
Hmm.
some of us are more comfortable perceiving while walking, or different states of
Hmm.
beingness that allows us to more comfortably, freely express this connection with the source that's coming through, right? So to me, it makes sense totally that I mean, I keep saying that to my students. I'm not that great, actually. It's just like when I let go is when things start to happen, and that's what you think that I am. But that's
Yeah.
like I sure I am part of that, but that free flow that's being experienced, I'm just allowing that to come through me, and I'm not questioning it. It's like this came, okay, I don't know why that came. Oh, now it shows up. Oh, okay, now it makes sense why that came. So you can never
Yeah.
really know. And this
Right.
is like where all this information and or all the experiences, where it's all stored, where all the thoughts of the global consciousness that we have, intragalactic even consciousness, of course,
Hmm.
not just Earth. I'm not talking just about Earth. Earth is like a
Hmm.
little teeny
Yeah.
tiny little pebble grain of
Yeah.
sand in the universe, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
But just to feeling into that so many souls in this universe, and we are drawing from each other's understanding. So part of us, if we were to channel all the wisdom that we wanted to know about, let's say how to fly, because
Hmm.
I'm sure in some universes that's a possibility, we could
Hmm.
probably channel that, right? Something is going to come to you. It's kind of like the better version of Chat GPT, right? Because we already know everything. The Chat GPT knows what all the humans know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so if you combine all the humanity, that's what you get
Hmm.
ChatGPT. So in some sense, we're not that bad, right? Because ChatGPT is fairly smart as far as we know at this
Hmm.
point anyway. And of
Hmm.
course, it's growing exponentially very, very fast. But again, the space from which the thoughts are drawn and or ideas and or whatever comes to you, that space is full of potential. And that potential is something to be tapped into. You cannot tap into that potential if you yourself in this body unit that you are aren't balanced.
Right.
If you are in balance, you have access to everything.
Yeah. I would say more than we could even conceive.
Exactly.
We can't even begin to
Yeah.
start to conceive
Yeah.
what we are all capable of.
Yes. What's available?
And
Absolutely.
yeah, and it's all here. It's
Hmm.
all here. And yeah,
Hmm.
there's things and, this AI and all that, but we don't need that. We are it. We don't need it. We
Yeah.
think we need it
Yeah.
because it's moving things faster, but it's just because
Hmm.
we don't realize that we can tap into all that
Hmm.
and it can
Exactly.
get a job done quicker or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it can also dehumanize us. Like we have access to things. And it's like great, things are helpful and whatever, but if we take them too far, then we're discounting what we already have.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. Like, yeah, somebody saying potential, yeah, that can feel like pressure
Hmm.
if we're not tapped in. But that's a great pointing. So, for instance, if it felt like pressure to me, then my next step, according to my desire, it would be to say, well, why? Why would that feel like pressure? Where
Hmm.
do I not know within me?
Hmm.
Where am I unknowing of
Hmm.
that?
Hmm. Hmm.
Because otherwise it wouldn't feel like pressure. It wouldn't be
Yeah.
frightening. It wouldn't be,
Yeah.
it might be exciting. It
Yeah.
might be the excited fear of taking the leap to go move into the bigger thing or whatever. And
Yeah.
that's the normal like nerves of like, oh my gosh, okay, it's something new and I'm going to take the leap and I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be
Exactly.
pressure.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
beautiful. Yeah, I think we can end on that note. And I invite you guys really to pause for a moment in your life, be still, or, dynamically, obviously, in the movement, but pausing within you enough to find some resemblance of the balance and touching this spaciousness, this abyss of quantum, endless, infinite beingness. When you're in that space for a moment, just a moment, and see what comes to you.
Yeah. Play with it. Have fun
Yes,
with it.
yes.
Look
So
at it
thank you
with
for.
wonder. Yeah. Love it.
Yeah, so thank you, Tammy, again for joining,
Thank
and
you.
it's always great chatting with you. And you guys, thank you again for spending time with us and being here. Look forward to seeing you again on the next one. And if you have any comments, any ideas, any thoughts, write them down, send them to us. We'll be happy to chat and hear from you as well. In the meantime, like, subscribe, hit the bell button, and we'll see you next time. Take good care of you.